to see if the stream will populate. It's connecting live video on Facebook. There we go. And boom, boom. Go live. All right, welcome everybody. Meteorologist Kevin Phelps here. We're doing a lot of multitasking here early on. We are going to be tracking your winter storm for you. This is something that we've been doing here for the last couple of days in a lead up to this storm. Feel free to pop in, ask any questions that you do have available, and we'll continue to update you the best that we can. So yeah, the confidence only continues to grow that we're going to have a major winter storm here as we get into the weekend. The latest updates on this is that major travel disruptions are likely here on Saturday. I'm going to get into the specifics on the timing of that. We will discuss snowfall amounts, but whether you get 4 inches of snow or 12 inches of snow out of the system, the impacts are all the same. It's going to stink to travel here on Saturday. So let's kind of take things slowly here as we get into the next couple of days as we switch there to the full box. I want to get back over here so where we can talk about what looks to be our snow. That's all of our boxes right there. And yeah, there we go. We have very high confidence now that we are going to eclipse at least 6 inches of snow in 12 hours or 8 inches or more in 24 hours. So probably not a big surprise there that we have our winter storm watch in effect here for the entire TV6 viewing area. So as we watch that here, this isn't just locally. If you were with us here on Quad Cities today, this is across the entire region. We're talking almost the entire state of Iowa, with the exception of 2 counties in southwest Iowa, are under a winter storm watch. About 75% of the state of Illinois is under a winter storm watch. They will be issuing winter storm watches downstream into Indiana. So this is a regional event. It is not just here. So if you're traveling north, south, east, or west by train, by car, by air, expect major disruptions in travel here as we get into Saturday specifically. So let's pull this full here for you so you can take a closer look. Almost everywhere is highlighted on the red. I don't expect extensive damage out of this per se, but what I do expect more than likely, it will be the major disruptions. That's really what we need to be focused on here. Major disruptions in travel here across the upper Midwest. So again, I have how windy will it be during the snow and the direction. Hey, Phil, thanks for joining us. I'm going to be diving into all of that here in just a second. I'm getting some of these logistics out of the way. Hey, everybody that's going to be asking, will I be impacted? Yes, major disruptions across the entire area. I don't care where you live in the TV6 viewing area, you will have major disruptions. That is the long story short out of this. Right now, models continue to come into agreement of a widespread 6 to 12 inches of snow across our area. This is not something that we typically show online, or on air, but since we're online, we can kind of talk more about this. Some models have different biases than others, but they've been in very, very good agreement on the timing of this specifically, and now we're airing towards the colder side of the system. So that means we're tracking heavy snow here as you head into the day on Saturday. So there's your early first alert for that. And then here's the deal. So we were asking about the wind. I'm thinking as we get into Sunday morning, we are going to start to see some winds pick up here from the west and northwest as the system wraps up. So snow is done by sunrise on Sunday, but there will be some minor blowing and drifting here throughout your Sunday. So while I expect travel conditions to improve by the afternoon, there still will be some blowing and drifting taking place here as we get into next week. So I'm going to pull this map full, and I'll be able to kind of circle a few things on here. Again, this might look like there's a ton going on. This is a timeline, and the brighter the red is, the higher and more severe I expect these type of severe weather events. But the roads themselves are going to be worst from 6 o'clock Saturday morning through 6 o'clock on Sunday morning. So I'm suggesting that you have alternate travel plans here, either ahead of this system or after. Maybe stay for an extra day if possible. I do not suggest traveling on Saturday if you're going on a long distance. If there's something short, yeah, you're probably going to be fine for that. But this is the first big snow of the season, and every year when we have the first big snow, or even just the first 1-inch snow, we typically have a lot of fender benders. So we kind of just have to readjust, reacclimate to our winter driving. So that's what we're tracking here for you right now. I'm going to take a few more questions, and then I'm going to jump into ExactTrack here, which will demonstrate all of our snow that we're expecting. So I'm going to jump into the chat. How will Muscatine be impacted? Light snow or heavy wet snow? Justin, it is going to start off as a wet and heavy snow and transition to lighter snow as we get some colder temperatures in. And that, again, is going to lead to some blowing and drifting potential here long after the snow comes to an end. How much does Minneapolis and Burlington get for snow? We'll get to that here in a second. I know that's what everybody wants to know, but I'm going to tell you, 6 inches of snow. How about that? Everybody gets 6 inches of snow. It doesn't matter if you get more than that. It honestly doesn't matter if you get a couple inches less. Major travel disruptions on Saturday. So I'll pull exact track full here, and that way we can start talking about the timing of this. So snow starts up midnight, 1 o'clock Saturday morning. As you get into sunrise time frame, that's shortly after 7 o'clock on Saturday morning, we are going to see the intensity pick up. What I want to draw your attention to, especially as you see some pockets of maybe clear conditions down here near Ottumwa, this is going to be one of these days where snow is going to continue off and on all day long. So what I mean by that is this is going to be one of these scenarios where you think conditions are improving, and this might give crews some time to maybe clear some of these main roads, but conditions are only going to go downhill because as I advance exact track here, this is noon on Saturday. We continue to track widespread snow here for the entire TV6 viewing area and across the entire region. And it's not just then. We're tracking this through 4 o'clock on Saturday afternoon, and you can see some deeper blues in here out by Tipton and Davenport. That corresponds, again, with signs of some heavier snow. So this is why I'm telling you, you need to make those alternate travel plans, because even though it might look like you are seeing some improving conditions, I don't expect that window to be very long. So again, unless you are traveling just short distances, long distance travel is not going to be fun on any of the interstates. This is 7 o'clock on Saturday night. Snow still continues to fall. We don't get above freezing. So what I'm telling you is that this snow will start to stick on any untreated surface immediately, and snow does not stop. Doesn't stop. We're going through midnight right here, and snow continues here across the QCA. So as you get into this midnight time frame, this is where we start to see the area of low pressure kind of wrapping in. So we can kind of see this area kind of spinning like that. What's going to happen is behind this, we're going to see some gusty north and northwest winds developing, and that will allow for some blowing and drifting, even though I expect snow to wrap up by 6 o'clock on Sunday morning. So here you go. Everybody that's been asking, how much snow are we expecting? Here we go, drum roll please. We're looking at a widespread 6 to 12 inches across the area. Now, notice as you get to Mount Pleasant and Burlington, there's a 2 to 6 inch range. There's still some wiggle room there to boot, 2 to 6 inch range. What I have been talking about here for pretty much a while, we're focusing on the impacts. If you get 4 inches of snow, travel still is going to be really bad on Saturday on any long distance trips. If you get 12 inches of snow, obviously it's going to be bad, but there is no difference here between 4 and 12 inches of snow in terms of travel, maybe in terms of clearing it off your driveway or something like that. Yeah, I can understand that, but again, widespread travel disruptions are likely this weekend. Again, this is the preliminary snowfall forecast. This storm system is just pulling on shore today. We are going to sample it. This is going to give us a better idea of strength, intensity, a lot of the gibberish that you guys probably don't need to hear. But what that will do is right now we have some pretty wide snowfall ranges, right? We'll be able to kind of hone in on like 6 to 8 inches. Who is going to get that? Who's going to get 8 to 10? Who's going to get 12 maybe to 14? So that's where we stand here right now in terms of the snowfall forecast. It's only going to have more clarity as we get closer to this. Now, one thing I want to point out, and I'm going to draw this or pull this full because we've had some question marks about this, or some questions. Last year for our snowfall season, remember, we're talking last year's winter season. Yeah, so that encompasses 2024 and 2025. We only picked up 8.2 inches of snow in the Quad Cities. It was our least snowiest season on record. And the reason we're pointing this out, I don't know about you, I didn't use my snowblower last year. So this gives you today and tomorrow time to tune that up and get it prepared for maybe its first real workout in quite some time. In fact, you have to go back to January of 2024. So we're talking the winter of 23 and 24 before we had any significant winter storm systems like this. That was the same week that we had 2 winter storms that produced 30 inches of snow. And that was pretty much the only snow we got in the winter of 23 and 24. So what I'm saying, this is kind of our biggest snowstorm that we've had in at least or almost 2 years in the upper Midwest. So that's why I've been telling everybody, get everything prepared here. When I say grab your winter weapon, you're certainly going to need the shovel, but the snowblower is certainly going to be your best friend here as you get into your Saturday, into your Sunday. And then for holiday travel, at least for today, I don't foresee any major issues locally getting out of Moline. But as you're traveling to maybe some of these connecting destinations, we will see some unsettled weather to our north. So especially as you get out into maybe the New York and northern lower Michigan areas. Also, as you look at Washington, the reason I'm pointing that out, That's where our storm system's pulling on shore. So some travel issues there if you are happening to be out there. Hey, it's a beautiful morning. Wind chills are in the teens, but I want to show you the next 7 days because I think it's interesting what happens behind this. With fresh snow on the ground, we get our taste of winter. This is going to feel a lot like January and February. Single-digit lows, below zero wind chills, and highs only in the teens and 20s. So it's safe to say we are certainly going to be dealing with our first real chance of a winter storm here in quite some time. So I'm going to double box this. I'm going to take a look at some of these questions and then we'll go from there. So is tomorrow going to be and upgraded to, yes. So Chucky, once we're within a 24-hour window of this happening, it'll get upgraded to a winter storm warning. These are just the semantics of how these type of events are issued. So 72 hours out, you get to issue the watch, and then when you're within that 24-hour window, that's when you get upgraded to a warning. So we need to take that into account. But I still think, again, you have all of today and pretty much through about 8, 9 o'clock on Friday night to prepare. When I say prepare, maybe that's getting your snowblower ready to go, or maybe doing your travel here ahead of this system. So for anybody that's asking for their specific hometown, we're looking at a widespread 6 to 12 inches across the entire TV6 viewing area. So I don't care if you're joining us from Sterling, Tipton, to Muscatine, to Burlington, to Dubuque. 6 to 12 inches of snow. We're within that range, at least right now, and I do think that range will get more concise for specific areas here as we're getting better data in. Again, it's still a little far out. There's still some uncertainties, especially in the north and south side of the TV6 viewing areas with the snowfall forecast, but I think major travel disruptions are pretty much the big take-home for this because this is one of the busiest holiday weekends for travel. Happy Thanksgiving to you, Stephanie, as well. Thanks, everybody, for joining us here this morning. Melissa's asking, any idea on travel conditions around 4 p.m. on Saturday from Clarence to Tipton for Clarence-Tipton location? And I mean, it's hard to tell this far out to be overly specific, but I'm telling you, unless you're traveling short distances here on Saturday afternoon, it's not going to be very fun. Whether you're on the interstate or not, snow is going to be continuing from about 1 o'clock Saturday morning, well past 1 o'clock on Sunday morning. So it's just consistently snowing off and on. So that's why I'm saying at times it might look like the visibility is dropping and you might have this window to get out there and travel. But unless it's a very short distance, you're going to encounter more bands of snow and obviously some slippery travel. So just use your best judgment with that. We'll certainly be doing these streams here throughout the entire weekend, taking a look at all of our cameras and obviously all the DOT road conditions. Let's see, what about the Clinton area? I think I've kind of discussed that ad nauseum. We are expecting widespread 6 to 12 inches of snow. Peoria with a drive home to Geneseo. Cassie on Saturday, I don't think that's a great idea. I would either do it on Friday or wait until Sunday afternoon. I know this isn't the best way to do it, but if you can, I would try to keep as many people off the roads as you can, especially if you're traveling longer. If you're traveling more than a half hour, let's put it that way, probably consider making those change of plans. Let's see if getting out the shovels. I know I had to go dig mine out as well. Chucky is going to be your dog's first time playing in the snow. That should be fun. My puppy turns 2 years old on Saturday, and she loves snow, so it should be very fun for her to get out there and run around in that. I'm hoping we can leave tomorrow to get back home before anything hits. Yeah, Cassie, I think that would be the right call. I would think that if you were to leave by 6 or 7, I did not mean to do that. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was, yeah. Oh boy, yeah, let the jokes roll in. But yeah, if you're leaving around 6:30 here tomorrow night, you should be able to make it home in time. Snow doesn't start until after midnight, at least for that I-74 corridor up to I-80 and I-88. So as you go into, let's see, I'm going to pull the comments up here a little bit more. Are they going to stay ahead of the storm with clearing the roads? Lisa, that's hard to tell. I would probably say that your interstates are going to be hit quite often with those plows because it is such a major travel weekend, but especially our neighborhood streets are probably not going to be touched until Sunday. Just depends on what city or township that you live in or who is contracted out for your plowing. But yeah, with the intensity kind of going up and down on Saturday, there will be times where, hey, it's okay to travel, but don't expect that to last very long. Let's see here. Are we leaning more towards the Euro or the GFS for the forecast? I'm looking more at the blend, Andrew. Euro has been coming in quite heavy and with a little more moisture. But every model run, we're coming in with colder air, so that's trending towards more snow. But in large part, there's not a big model spread right now. I mean, anywhere between 6 and 12 inches. Really, there isn't a difference aside from you and me getting out and shoveling between 6 inches and 12 inches of snow in terms of impacts on travel. It's just major disruptions are likely here on Saturday, and that's the winter weather impacts here that I'm going to pull full for you. While I don't think extensive damage or anything like that is going to be in the cards, it's the major travel disruptions on a very, very busy holiday weekend for travel that is kind of our biggest focus. So, yeah, you guys can roast me for all that 6-7 stuff. That was totally not on purpose. But there we are. So is it going to start snowing tonight or tomorrow night? Leah, it's going to start snowing tomorrow night. We're talking Saturday, Friday night into Saturday. So we still have some time to kind of clean this up. What time is it going to start at work? Or I will be to be at work at 8. Will it be safe? Well, it's good. I just told you it's going to start around midnight, 1 a.m. on Saturday morning. So you can get to work just fine. Your ride home maybe could be a little dicey, but since it's a long duration event, it's going to take 12 to 24 hours for 6 to 12 inches of snow to pile up in our area. So this isn't one of these scenarios where we're getting blasted with snow in a 5 or 6 hour window span. It's just going to be a consistent light snow with some bounce of moderate snow and lower visibility. Gobble till you wobble, Roger. That's right. Hey, anybody doing the turkey trot? It's cold out there. They should be running up the hill here pretty soon. The dog parade starts at 7:30. It's 7:23 right now. I know the stream's going to be a little bit behind, but at least that's what my watch says here right now. I'm going to check our YouTube feed if anybody's hopping on there. Happy Thanksgiving to you, Byron. Happy Thanksgiving to you all, and no problem for keeping you aware. I mean, that's part of our job here at TV6. We do our best. I want to point out, yes, this is a system that we've been tracking here since last Sunday. If you've been following along on social media and anything like that, you probably noticed, hey, there were some potential snowstorms here ahead of Thanksgiving. Well, those didn't pan out. There's a reason that we didn't hop on and do these streams like that, because we were not very confident in that happening. So as our confidence grows, this is when we're going to inform you. We want to be responsible in how we do this, especially when it comes to a situation like this on a very, very busy travel weekend. So let's see if we have any additional questions here on Facebook. Wind going to be a problem, Shauna? Okay, yeah, I'll run through ExactTrack here. I think it is going to be a little breezy Saturday morning. Saturday afternoon, there's not a ton of wind, and then it picks back up on Sunday morning. So I think long after the snow is done, there's still going to be some blowing and drifting here taking place. For those asking about the model spread, I'll get into ExactTrack here in just a second. I have to go through all my graphics here to get to it. So there's just a look at a model spread. I'm not labeling any of these. We'll just call it 1 through 6. Model number 1 is our shortest range model. That's not going to have any info on it here until tomorrow afternoon. But you can see our long range and medium range models are all in very close agreement on the amount of snow and the timing of when it arrives. Saturday morning and wrapping up early Sunday morning. So yes, we have our early first alerts for heavy snow Saturday. And there you go, Shauna, for those asking about the wind. I think there's going to be some blowing snow now on Sunday through about noon. So the worst travel times, again, 6 o'clock Saturday morning through 6 o'clock on Sunday morning. And let's just do ExactTrack here, and I'm going to keep this full and try to go into some details about this. We kind of talked about today being cold and all of Friday. We're going to be below freezing. Our pavement temperatures are going to be cold enough for this to stick on untreated surfaces. Bridges and overpasses will quickly become slippery here by 1 o'clock Saturday morning. By sunrise on Saturday, which is shortly after 7 a.m., snow will be flying across the entire area. As you get towards midday, snow continues off and on. The reason I say that, you look near Burlington and Keosauqua there's a little bit of a hole. This is what I'm telling you. There's going to be brief windows where it looks like it's okay to travel or it looks like it's letting up. It's probably going to pick back up because I expect this to continue through 4 o'clock Saturday afternoon and then right through sunset here on Saturday. Now I'm going to fast forward this all the way to midnight on Sunday, and what I want to do here is I'm going to draw on this map. You can see things are kind of spinning. As the low pressure continues in the area, winds are going to pick up from the north and west overnight Sunday and into very early Sunday morning. So even though the snow is done by 6 a.m. on Sunday, I expect blowing and drifting continue here at least through the midday hours on Sunday. So here's a look at your snowfall forecast. Very preliminary right now. I would like to point out that this is going to change. 6 to 12 inches is a wide range, but I think the impacts are one and the same. So right now in the heart of our viewing area, it's a widespread 6 to 12 inches. We'll call this pretty much any of the hometowns that are joining you. If anybody, I've tried to get to everybody so far. If you've asked me about your specific town, 6 to 12 inches. That's as close as I can get right now. Last year we only had 8 inches of snow, so I think today and tomorrow is the time to get yourself prepared. I know stores are not open here, or many of them are closed here today, but you're probably going to want some ice melt if you have it. But really, the snow shovels and the snow blowers are the things that you need to have prepared. And again, holiday travel, I'm going to get to the 7-day forecast here for you. Behind this system, we are going to have Arctic air settling in. We're talking sub-zero wind chills Monday and Tuesday morning, and we're talking highs in the teens and low 20s. So we're going to go right into full-blown winter here as you get into your weekend. Our warning confidence is only growing. For those asking, will there be a winter storm warning? We are going to be upgraded to that more than likely here by tomorrow morning, and then that because we'll be in that 24-hour window for that to occur. So I'm just going to get to the major disruptions. That's what we're expecting here as you get into your Saturday. So some questions starting to slow down here. Just logged on. How much snow? I think I just addressed that for you, Jennifer. Snowfall total come down a little. I see a 6 to 11 and 4 to 8, so that's good. Yeah, whatever you see, Roy, 4 to 10 inches, major disruptions in travel. It does snowfall amounts. I'm not overly concerned about that, to be honest with you, unless it's just you and me getting out there and shoveling. That's about the only time where we really need to care about that. This will be a wetter snow, so it should be good for making snowmen and snowballs, I guess, for the kiddos that more likely get that joy out of the first snow of the season. Estimated to they could still go up and down over the next 24 hours, Tyler, but things have been pretty consistent with us being on the colder side now. This is mainly a snow event, as opposed to earlier this week where we're kind of concerned with the rain-snow line kind of impacting our area. I don't foresee that being an issue now, at least with what we're seeing. Thanks for all you guys' input here. Brian, coming from Mo, am I good to travel Friday afternoon? Absolutely, Stacy. Coming up to the Quad Cities here from Missouri on Friday, and then plan on staying at least through Sunday afternoon. Maybe hold off until Monday as we can get a lot of those main roads cleared. In large part, this is really our first big winter storm since January of 24. Yeah, so if you haven't done so already, yeah, you're going to want to be ready for this first real storm here in quite some time. Yeah, I just want to go back to that January of 24. We had 2 big winter storms that week. I think we ended up with around 30 inches of snow out of those 2 storms. So the winter of 23 and 24, we had about 36, 38 inches of snow. That's totally normal for an entire winter for us. But all of that came in 1 week in January of 2024. Taking a look at last year's winter season, 2024 to 2025, we only had 8 inches of total snow. Now, we did have a couple of ice storms in there, which I think is a lot worse than having to deal with snow, but it's just a good reminder that we really haven't had to break out the snowblower since January of 24, so almost 2 years since we've tracked a system like this through the Midwest, and it's a holiday weekend, and it's not just impacting us, it's impacting all of central Iowa, all of Illinois, and it's going to continue into Indiana and Ohio. So this is a major Midwest event. Major travel disruptions are likely whether you end up with 4 inches of snow or whether you end up with 12 inches of snow. Let's see, anybody else joining in here? I live in the oh, you're coming back home, Stacy. Well, welcome home on Friday. Hope you're enjoying your time down in Missouri. Let's see, anything else before I kind of wrap this up? I got some other videos to record. Remember, the QC weather app, we're going to do travel updates here throughout your entire weekend. It's Thanksgiving Day. We have some other pushes and stuff that will be heading out here soon. But the bottom line and the biggest take home with all of this, today and tomorrow is your time to prepare. If you have travel plans on Saturday, the worst travel time, 6 o'clock Saturday morning through 6 o'clock on Sunday morning. There will be times where it looks like things are improving, but I don't expect snow to wrap up until about 6 o'clock on Sunday morning. So might have a small window to clear up, and then things kind of go downhill from there. So unless you're traveling short distances, Saturday is going to be one where we kind of just hunker down, enjoy some leftovers here from Thanksgiving, and maybe enjoy a puzzle or some board games or something like that. Is drifting going to be a problem, Mark? There's going to be a little bit of drifting here on Sunday. So even though the snow wraps up here prior to sunrise on Sunday, I think travel impacts last until the midday hours. Impact the Hawkeye, Nebraska. That's tomorrow. 11 o'clock for the Hawkeye and Nebraska game in Lincoln. That's at 11 o'clock in the morning. So snow will arrive out to our west earlier, but I think if you are planning to head to the game, you should be in good shape. Mostly cloudy, but by the time that game ends, I'd probably hit the road and try to get home here. What's Lincoln, about 5.5, 6 hours from here. You head to Omaha and down just Interstate 80. Man, that speed limit, I think, between Lincoln and Omaha is like 80 miles an hour. I don't know, people do like 90 on it. But yeah, I think you should be okay for the Hawkeye game if you are traveling to that. Let's see here. I'm pushing buttons and I don't, oh, well, I lost the feed of all our stuff. That's real fun. Okay. Well, I'm going to wrap this up here now because I think I've answered as many questions as I can. I'll jump into the chat as well after this to help out with any of that throughout the rest of this morning.